When the car exploded, I risked my life to save my fiancé, with whom I had a long-standing engagement, but lost my memory in the process. Upon waking, Marcus, who was my fiancé, had become my brother. Grace, your brother will take care of you for your entire life. Standing nearby was my best friend, Chloe, who had, instead, become Marcus's fiancé. On's birthday, the two passionately kissed in front of everyone. With a defiant smirk, she said, "Grace, don't worry about it. Your brother and I just got carried away." "Oh well, even if I explained, you wouldn't understand." Marcus nodded as well. "Grace, we're having our engagement party soon. You should come." My smile didn't reach my eyes. "Then I wish you both happiness. I'll definitely be there." What they didn't know was that I had already recovered my memory. "Marcus, you're having your engagement party with her. What about our long-standing engagement? Are you just giving up on the family shares?" I turned and called Eleanor. "Mom, please inform Uncle that I want to break off my long-standing engagement with Marcus and, while you're at it, revoke the family shares." The cheers in the private lounge were endless. Marcus and Chloe were locked in a passionate embrace, unable to part. I couldn't believe my boyfriend and best friend had gotten together while I was suffering from amnesia. Before all this, they were the two people I trusted most deeply. Watching the scene, my heart felt as if a huge hole had been torn through it. After a round of games, I overheard their conversation. "Marcus sure knows how to play the game. Back when the car crash happened, we thought you were so touched you'd actually agree to marry her. Who knew our Marcus was so clever? He just claimed to be her brother and has been deceiving her ever since." Marcus, who was being discussed, was full of disdain. "She was the one who risked her life to save me. It had nothing to do with me. I'll only marry Chloe. Grace was just deluding herself." As his words faded, a roaring sound filled my ears, and I couldn't hear anything else he said. I couldn't believe those words came from Marcus. We grew up as childhood sweethearts, and our families were close friends, so they arranged a long-standing engagement for us. I once ate cheap meals for weeks just to buy him the sneakers he wanted. I stayed up all night, just to make him a birthday gift. Even when the car crash occurred later, I disregarded the gasoline leak and the risk of an imminent explosion, determined to save him. At that time, I asked for nothing else, I only wished for his safety. But I never imagined that all my efforts would only result in his deceit and lies. The moment I lost my memory, he immediately announced his relationship with Chloe. Taking advantage of my amnesia, he manipulated me into calling Chloe his sister-in-law, and him her brother. They were openly intimate in front of me, and everyone in the private lounge knew, yet no one was willing to tell me the truth. A bitter taste rose in my mouth, and a pervasive, stinging pain spread throughout my body. The sounds from the private lounge came again. I struggled to look at Marcus inside. "Marcus, aren't you worried you'll mess up and Grace will report you?" A friend's teasing voice rang out again. "Yeah, Grace has a hot temper. The last time you accepted someone else's love letters, she caused a huge scene. If she really remembered, it wouldn't be good. She'd definitely get angry and break off the engagement." At that time, Marcus and I were officially together, and he had promised to treat me well. I believed him, but he turned around and accepted love letters from someone else. We had a huge argument that became public knowledge. From then on, many people said I was hot-tempered and jealous. Marcus flicked his cigarette ash, a smile in his voice. "Grace is a pushover when it comes to me. You all know that. All I have to do is snap my fingers, and she'll come running. She's head over heels in love with me. Even when she's angry, she's easy to appease." At this, Chloe, standing nearby, couldn't help but laugh. "The doctor said back then that her amnesia might never recover. Let her personally witness Marcus and my love." Marcus dotingly stroked Chloe's face and then said to the others, "Don't let Grace know about these things. We don't want to trigger her memory recovery. She saved me, yes, and I'll compensate her as I should." I had been waiting for Marcus's reaction, but when I actually heard it, my mind went blank. Looking at the lively scene inside, I couldn't speak. Just then, Chloe came out. When she opened the door and saw me, a hint of guilt flickered in her eyes. "Grace, why don't you come in?" I composed myself, my voice devoid of emotion. "I was just about to." Chloe visibly relaxed, then pulled me intimately by the arm. To the moment people in the private lounge saw me, they greeted me with unusual warmth. It was obvious Marcus had just told them to keep up the act. I remained expressionless, silently clenching my fists. They were putting on a show right in front of me, making a fool of me. This had happened countless times, yet only today did I learn the truth. Marcus's gaze briefly landed on me, and I chose to ignore him. "Grace is here. Let's all play a game," they suggested loudly, and the bottle on the table was spun again. The bottle neck pointed at Marcus. Someone, eager for drama, winked and asked him, "Marcus, when did you fall in love with Chloe?" Chloe lowered her head shyly, while Marcus's eyes twinkled with a smile. At first sight. She was standing next to Grace then, and I liked her the moment I saw her. My heart sank. Was it really when I first introduced Chloe to Marcus? So, they had been flirting behind my back even then. Once that thought took root, all the past events connected, one by one. During the school sports day, Chloe fell, and I suffered heatstroke rushing to her. I called him, but he didn't answer. Finally, I found Marcus taking care of Chloe in the infirmary. When we ate together, Marcus would forget I couldn't eat spicy food and order a table full of spicy dishes for Chloe. He said then that Chloe was a year younger than us and told me to be lenient with her. When broke up with her boyfriend, Marcus was more anxious than anyone. During that period, he was crestfallen and told me he was upset. I worried about him, bringing him breakfast every day, never imagining it was because Chloe was sad. At this moment, my heart completely shattered. Those who knew the situation shot me teasing glances, pretending to casually bring up the topic. "Marcus, I remember you had just agreed to be with someone else at that time. You had a girlfriend." Marcus seemed to find this amusing. He crushed out his cigarette, a look of disdain on his face. "I was forced. If I hadn't agreed, my parents would have torn me apart. How could someone like that compare to Chloe?" As they discussed this, their eyes kept darting towards me. I held back, not wanting them to see my reaction. My heart was bleeding, and even my hands, hidden in my pockets, trembled slightly. My affection for Marcus had always been open. When I confessed my feelings, he readily agreed, and I thought he liked me too. So, did he see our long-standing engagement as a burden? After all these years, I finally saw the naked contempt in his eyes. I let my fingernails dig into my palms, the pain a stark reminder to stay grounded. When I looked up, Chloe was already cooing in Marcus's arms. My face remained impassive. The bottle spun again, landing on me for the next round. I casually chose dare. "Grace, dare to kiss someone for 20 seconds. As soon as that was said, the private lounge erupted, and countless eyes landed on me. Marcus's hand paused, but he remained silent. Everyone was waiting for me, the amnesiac, to react. I looked at Marcus. Chloe then spoke with a smug, gloating tone, "Marcus is your brother, you can't kiss him." Marcus still said nothing, but I understood his stance. Unable to bear it any longer, I stood up and walked out. They seemed surprised I would just leave. Chloe, her tone filled with displeasure, grabbed my arm. "Grace, it's my birthday today. Who are you giving attitude to?" I coldly retorted, "Is this your birthday party or a party to mock me? You two know best." I pushed Chloe away and left without hesitation. It wasn't until I was away from there that I finally let out a breath of relief. I raised my hand and made a call. "Mom, please tell Uncle that I want to cancel the long-standing engagement." Eleanor sounded surprised. "My dear daughter, what happened?" I calmly said, "Marcus is having an engagement party, and his fiancé isn't me." Eleanor was immediately furious. "Good heavens, William's good son. I'll make him come here and see his wonderful son for himself. He won't get the family shares either." 3 After I finished the call with Eleanor. Unexpectedly, Marcus called me soon after, and his first words were a reprimand. "It was just a game. Do you really have to be so serious about it? Chloe is your best friend. How could you be so rude to her? And there were so many people there. Don't be such a sore loser, Grace." I hung up before he finished speaking, then blocked and deleted his contact. Back in the private lounge, everyone held their breath, seeing Marcus get hung up on. Someone whispered, "Grace seems different today." Could she have recovered her memory and be about to break up with Marcus? As soon as the speculation arose, Chloe and Marcus immediately dismissed it. Impossible. The doctor said her chances of recovering her memory were only 10%. She's just being a sore loser about the game. Chloe nodded, her voice aggrieved, so must be angry with me. After I packed my things and shipped them off, Marcus and Chloe returned. As soon as he opened the door, Marcus glared at me, his face full of anger. Chloe, her VO. Ice pitiful, placed the cake she was holding on the table. "Grace, I'm so sorry. It was my oversight that made you upset. I never thought you'd take a game so seriously. Even though you ruined my birthday party, I still hope you'll eat my birthday cake." I watched her act with an impassive face, my gaze falling on the mango cake on the table. These two, who were my best friend and boyfriend just before, both knew I was allergic to mangoes. I was so exasperated I actually laughed, momentarily speechless. Marcus, finding me inexplicable, frowned and scolded me. Grace, Chloe specifically came to comfort you because she was worried you were feeling bad. She knew you didn't eat cake and even brought some back. Don't be so ungrateful. Chloe stepped forward, took my hand, and interrupted Marcus. Alright, Marcus. Grace is probably just unhappy because she's upset. It's my fault. I should have told them beforehand not to play such games with Grace. This is between Grace and me, Marcus, please don't say anything more. As she spoke, she picked up the cake and, when I wasn't paying attention, fed me a large bite of mango. My eyes immediately widened. By the time I reacted and spat it out, it was too late. My lips slowly began to tingle. Red rashes gradually appeared on my skin. Marcus seemed oblivious to all this, as if he had completely forgotten about my allergy. Seeing my silence, he assumed I had given in, and his tone became smug. I also don't want you and your best friend to have a falling out. It's only because Chloe has such a good temper, otherwise, I'd definitely have to teach you a lesson. Our engagement party is the day after tomorrow. I might even consider letting you be Chloe's mere backdrop. Chloe, too, looked utterly pleased. That's right, Grace. I'm sure you'd love to witness our happiness. This is my favorite mango cake. Isn't it delicious? I frowned again. You're getting engaged? Marcus nodded. Of course. I love Chloe that much. I didn't have time to wait for his next sentence and quickly headed to the hospital. On the way, I saw Chloe's Instagram post, which confirmed their engagement news. If I wasn't mistaken, Marcus hadn't told his parents. Feeling the allergic reaction on my body, I let out a cold laugh. Then I would give Marcus an engagement surprise. For I found all my previous chat logs and videos with Marcus, and the dashcam footage from the car crash. I was going to end this deception myself. It was clear Marcus took this ceremony very seriously. Even without informing his parents, he would give Chloe the grandest affair. He was completely disregarding our long-standing engagement, determined to secure a future with Chloe. My affection for him, spanning over a decade, couldn't be entirely severed at once, but now that I knew what kind of person he was, I wouldn't go soft again. Chloe and Marcus appeared hand in hand, and I was there attending as his sister. The venue erupted in cheers and praise. Marcus finally got what he wanted. With the engagement party today, the wedding must be soon. Absolutely. There's no way Marcus would marry someone he doesn't like. Marcus is smart, he used the act first, tell later approach. No wedding first, just the engagement, so his parents can't do anything about it later. Chloe looked at me, taking my hand to ask, Grace, are you happy that Marcus and I are getting married? My smile didn't reach my eyes. Happy. You two are a perfect match. Chloe smiled contentedly. My gaze fell on the necklace around Chloe's neck, and my eyes involuntarily darkened. Marcus had dragged me along to pick it out. I had told Marcus before that I liked this style, but he had repeatedly put me off. Then, for Chloe's birthday, he remembered and personally took me to buy it. Now, he'd bought it for Chloe. I pulled at the corner of my mouth, then averted my gaze. Marcus, banking on my amnesia, had completely cast aside everything between us. The venue was crowded, and any questioning voice stood out clearly. Marcus, I thought the girl you had a long-standing engagement with was named Vance. A flicker of panic showed in Marcus's eyes. He glanced at me, then loudly interjected, Don't talk nonsense. My long-standing engagement has always been with Chloe. The you're talking about is our housekeeper's daughter, you must be mistaken. The person looked confused but unsure, and repeatedly apologized for their mistake. Once there were no other voices, Marcus visibly relaxed. He looked at me several times. When he saw no change in my expression, he completely let down his guard. Grace, from now on, Chloe will not only be your best friend but also your sister-in-law. I'll be holding the wedding with her soon. Don't cause a scene like you did at the last banquet. I nodded obediently, playing along with his final bit of charade. He didn't know that my hands, hidden behind my back, were digging into my palms so hard they were almost bleeding. The housekeeper's daughter? Childhood sweethearts for so many years, only to be dismissed with those few words. I was trembling with rage. Marcus deceiving me was one thing, but he didn't even plan to tell everyone my true identity. All my affection, from this day forward, I considered it utterly wasted. I maintained my composure, personally handing them the rings. But when Marcus opened the box, I paused, looking at the ring. Uncle had specially commissioned a designer for this unique pattern, specifically for me to wear on my wedding day with Marcus. Who would have thought Marcus would get his hands on the design prematurely and prepare it as a gift for Chloe? I suddenly felt utterly ridiculous, almost becoming a joke again. Marcus tenderly placed the ring on Chloe's finger, and another wave of cheers erupted from below. I took Marcus's hand, smiling as I called out to him, "Marcus, I have a surprise for you." Marcus frowned, a baseless sense of unease washing over him. Before he could speak, He projector screen behind him suddenly went blank, then displayed a video of him and me from a previous New Year's Eve. In the video, Marcus shouted loudly, "I only love Grace my entire life. I want to be with Grace forever." Marcus's face instantly went white. His voice trembled, You remember everything?" Marcus's face was filled with disbelief, his voice trembling imperceptibly. Chloe, standing beside him, went completely pale, almost losing her footing. "How is this possible? The doctor clearly said you would never remember anything in this life." Someone must have told her, that's how she remembered everything. She spoke incoherently, clutching Marcus's hand. "Get her out of here, Marcus. Hurry and get her out. She can't ruin us again." With every word Chloe spoke, Marcus's expression grew uglier. His eyes fixated on me, as if he wanted to crush me on the spot. The crowd erupted in an instant, everyone murmuring, "What's going on in this video? Mr. Hayes is playing two sides." I knew I wasn't mistaken. Grace in the video is the one with the long-standing engagement to the Hayes family. Since there was a long-standing engagement, and now Mr. Hayes is engaged to Chloe, what exactly happened here? The long-standing engagement was set by both the Vance and Hayes families. Does the family know Mr. Hayes suddenly changed his mind? Every word from the crowd reached Marcus's ears. His face was a picture of shame, and he spoke to me in an impatient, coaxing whisper. "Grace, when did you recover your memory? Why didn't you tell me? I was so worried about you. How about I take you back to see the doctor first? What happened with Chloe and me can be explained, it's not what you think. She's your best friend, I know all about it. Grace, there are too many people here. Let's talk about this when we get home, okay?" Marcus leaned in intimately, hoping to see a softening expression on my face. But I disdained even looking at him, which made his face grow even darker and more terrifying. I subtly evaded his touch, my voice as cold as ice. "Don't dream. Do you think we still have anything to talk about at home? And there's nothing left for us to discuss." After saying that, I turned and raised my voice, addressing everyone present. "Hello everyone, I'm Grace. Marcus and I have had a long-standing engagement since childhood, and he accepted my confession and we began dating after he graduated high school. However, he fell in love at first sight with my best friend, Chloe, and even started a relationship with her right under my nose." My words drew many eyes, and the next second, the proposal screen behind me switched to another video. This was a video from Marcus's 18th birthday celebration. He presented me with a gift and earnestly promised me, "Grace, even without that long-standing engagement, I would definitely be with you. Please believe me, until the day I marry you." I still remember how moved I was, speechless, even imagining what our wedding would look like. His sincere declaration of love then was in stark contrast to his infidelity now, and many people began to mutter curses at Marcus. Seeing that I was serious, Marcus's face quickly filled with indignation. "Grace, do you really have to embarrass me right now? I never said I wouldn't marry you. Do you really have to make such a huge scene? I'll give you 5 minutes. Take all this down. Otherwise, I won't go easy on you." Looking at Marcus, who had finally dropped his facade, I was filled with disappointment. I admit we shared many memories, but after Chloe appeared, those things became a permanent part of the past. I was amused by his reaction and retorted without hesitation, "Marry me? You still think you can marry me?" Marcus's tone was dismissive. "Our long-standing engagement has been set for years. You like me so much, how could you possibly give up this chance to marry me? Besides, do you think your parents would fall out with the Hayes family? Why just for you? Grace, you're overestimating your importance. Admit it, Grace, you're doing all this just to get my attention, you're jealous, but you need to pick your moments." I couldn't believe his audacity and laughed out of sheer anger. "All right then, I'll let everyone see exactly what you've done." The footage on the screen reversed again, followed by a dashcam recording. It was recorded on the day of the car crash. Marcus was trapped in the car, and even though my leg was injured, I crawled over to save him. The scene was gruesome, the blood on the ground was shocking, and my crawling efforts caused many in the audience to gasp. The scene then shifted to hospital surveillance footage. The doctor shook his head with a sigh. "The patient's amnesia is very difficult to recover from, she might never remember." And the moment I opened my eyes, Marcus immediately told me he was with Chloe, even fabricating a lie. Marcus took advantage of her vulnerability, brazenly getting together with Chloe before even breaking up with me. The full story, cause and effect, was laid bare, and the audience immediately spoke up for me. Grace risked her life to save Marcus, and now he's cheating? That's absolutely outrageous. This probably planned it all along. I heard Marcus and Grace grew up as childhood sweethearts, so Chloe must have been stirring things up between them. If you ask me, Marcus is a total scumbag. If he didn't like her, he should have broken up with her. What kind of person deceives someone when they have amnesia? It's sickening to imagine Grace remembering she called them brother and sister-in-law after recovering her memory. Chloe, provoked, went wild on the spot, throwing things at the projector screen. The screen shattered, and her voice was filled with rage. Grace, why are you ruining Marcus and my engagement party? How dare you? Marcus just doesn't like you. He never did, and he never will. Are you trying to beg him back with this? I'm telling you, as long as I'm here, you have no chance. He only loves me. I watched my former best friend transform into this monstrous state, feeling utterly unmoved. You were the ones who deceived me first. I'm merely telling everyone what you both did. And, I genuinely considered you a good friend, yet you got together with Marcus immediately. You are the one who should be apologizing. My gaze fell on the two of them. Their eyes held an eerily similar hatred for me. I curled my lips into a smile, staring at them as I spoke each word distinctly. Marcus, it's not over yet. I won't let what you did to me go easily. Marcus's head snapped up, his face filled with panic. Grace, what else are you going to do? Haven't you caused enough of a scene? I raised an eyebrow, casually remarking, I seem to recall that Uncle doesn't know about this engagement party of yours today, does he? Marcus's face immediately turned green and then white. I was very satisfied with this reaction. I knew Marcus feared Uncle the most. Sure enough, his voice instantly softened, and he pleaded with me, Grace, we've been together for so many years. I do have feelings for you. I was utterly annoyed, frowning as I cut him off. Before this, I also thought there were feelings between us. But you personally told me that all these so-called feelings were just a joke. I risked my life to save you, yet you took advantage of my amnesia to publicly announce your relationship with Chloe. You made me, unknowingly, assume the role of your girlfriend while watching you kiss and embrace her. To deceive me and prevent me from recovering my memory too quickly, you even had everyone around you keep it a secret from me. During the game in the private lounge, when they dared me to kiss someone else, you, my boyfriend, just stood by and watched. You even knew I was allergic to mangoes, yet you allowed Chloe to feed me mango. No one knew how utterly shattered I was when I saw my boyfriend and best friend together. I remained expressionless, not wanting to say more. Marcus, when you did all these things, did you ever consider our childhood sweethearts bond? The damage was done, I would not forgive him. Seeing my resolute attitude and that his old tricks no longer worked, Marcus became desperately panicked. He held my hand tightly, refusing to let go, pleading with me. Grace, don't tell my dad. I'll marry you. I'll break it off with Chloe completely. Just give me one chance, I swear. This kind of thing will never happen again. I was about to speak, but Marcus suddenly dropped to his knees, begging me abjectly. Grace, I know you really like me. You wouldn't be so heartless. Before he could finish, Chloe, her face full of disbelief, stepped forward. Marcus, what do you mean by that? You clearly promised me you'd marry me. Didn't you say your long-standing engagement with Grace was forced by your parents? You distinctly promised me that once we were engaged, you'd marry me. Chloe's eyes were red, and she stared at Marcus, demanding answers with every word. But, for the first time, showed impatience with Chloe, even yelling at her, shut up. You and I were just a fling, just a novelty. 7 Chloe's eyes widened, her pupils contracting. Marcus, you ungrateful jerk. That's not what you said to me back then. You were the one who came after me. Now you've used me and you're disowning me, is that it? You promised you'd marry me. If you don't keep your word, I won't let you get away with this easily. Marcus, his face showing impatience, suddenly stood up and delivered a resounding slap across Chloe's face. I was startled by the suddenness of them turning on each other. In my mind, this scene was a bit premature. Chloe screamed on the spot and started brawling with Marcus. The two who were making promises to each other just moments before now seemed intent on tearing each other apart. Stop it. What kind of spectacle is this, with so many people watching? A voice suddenly cut through the air, interrupting everyone's thoughts. Marcus instantly froze, completely still. 2 burly men in black suits immediately stepped forward and pulled Marcus and Chloe apart. William's face was terrifyingly dark. He didn't hesitate to slap Marcus across the face. Marcus was furious but dared not speak, only gritting his teeth and enduring it. William, seeing me, forced a smile. Grace, we just found out about this boy's engagement party. This is all Marcus's fault, and we'll make sure to discipline him properly back home. Please talk to your parents. Everything can be discussed. You and Marcus grew up together, I'm sure you still have feelings for each other. I interrupted his ongoing pleas with an impassive face. This isn't up to me anymore, and I've already told my parents. By now, Uncle should have received the news about canceling the long-standing engagement. You should discuss this with my parents. Seeing my attitude, William knew this wouldn't be easy to handle. Marcus stared at me, then suddenly, as if realizing something, his tone filled with disbelief. You had already decided to cancel the long-standing engagement? So, when exactly did you recover your memory? Before I could speak, William sharply reprimanded him. Shut up. Haven't you disgraced yourself enough? His eyes were fixed on Marcus, then he turned to Chloe, who was on the floor. You're the other woman? You knew Marcus had a long-standing engagement and still came after him? Shameless. Take her away. I'll deal with this. The two bodyguards were about to approach. Chloe, eyes wide with terror, struggled frantically to escape. But she couldn't run. As she was being hauled up, she suddenly burst into tears. You can't arrest me. I'm pregnant. I'm carrying Marcus's child. William's face turned even uglier. He looked at his disappointing son, said nothing, and left with his men. Grace, I'll personally bring this boy to your house to apologize. I.D. nothing, watching them leave. The farce finally ended. And the next second, I received news of my parents' return to the country. At the airport, seeing Eleanor, my eyes welled up, and I couldn't help but throw myself into her arms, crying. Sobbing softly, I told them everything that had happened recently. Eleanor listened, growing increasingly angry. When you had that car crash, we thought it was an accident, never realizing you were saving him. I trusted Marcus with you, but he didn't even tell us about your amnesia. Don't worry, Grace, I won't let you suffer like this. Eleanor hugged me, full of sympathy, and William's face also darkened. Grace, we've already canceled the long-standing engagement with the Hayes family. Once the long-standing engagement is canceled, the Vance family and the Hayes family will sever all ties. For us, you are what matters most. My heart warmed at this, but I still held on to William. You and Uncle are good friends. Isn't this a bit? William retorted angrily. Many years have passed. We rarely contact the Hayes family anymore. There's no real close friendship. You were wronged by the Hayes family. I will certainly get justice for you. Eleanor and William stayed with me for several days, and my mood finally improved. My parents met with Uncle a few times. I heard he still wanted to bring Marcus to see me, but William flatly refused. Since then, the Hayes residents and the Vance residents completely severed ties. The video from that engagement party was widely circulated, and online public opinion was mostly directed at Marcus. Grace risked her life to save him, only to save an ungrateful jerk. A childhood sweetheart's bond means nothing in front of the other woman. Marcus is such a scumbag. He made his actual fiancé call the other woman sister-in-law? Who does that? When lost her memory, he couldn't wait to appear with Chloe. Marcus has lost his humanity. Resourceful netizens even dug up everything about off of them, from head to toe. They eventually uncovered that Chloe had previously conspired with roommates to bully a less fortunate student. Chloe was instantly slammed online. Watching the online public opinion, I felt nothing but satisfaction at their comeuppance. The residents and the Hayes residents separated their businesses, withdrawing various projects and investments. The family was now plagued by internal and external problems. The online public opinion couldn't be suppressed, and Hayes' stock plummeted. After was taken home, William severely beat him and then confined him. As for Chloe, William had never looked kindly upon her, but she was indeed pregnant with Marcus's child. This left William both furious and angry. For several days, he tried to discuss the long-standing engagement with Eleanor and William, even considering an abortion for the child. Ultimately, due to various reasons, Chloe remained at the Hayes residence. After learning all of this, my heart no longer stirred with great emotion. I had thought I would never see Marcus again in this life, but unexpectedly, he showed up at my doorstep. He stood there, covered in wounds, looking utterly disheveled as he waited for me. The moment he saw me, his eyes lit up. He took 2 extremely careful steps forward. Yet, he maintained a certain distance from me. I watched him coldly. He lowered his gaze, his expression unreadable. Grace, I've been dreaming about you these past 2 days. I dreamed about you playing house as a child, saying you'd marry me someday. I dreamed about your first period, and you crying to me. I dreamed about your first time losing your temper with me, which drove me crazy. And when you had amnesia. scolding me for how I could treat you like that. His voice was choked with emotion, and tears streamed down his face, making him look like a vagrant. My face was cold. I simply didn't have time to listen to him recount these unnecessary past events. So? I stood there my arms crossed, watching him. What do you want to say? Are you asking for my forgiveness, or do you think I still have feelings for you? Marcus shook his head. I know you won't forgive me. I just wanted to see you one last time. You might not know, but my dad kicked me out of the Hayes residence. I might never see you again. Grace, you must hate me. I hurt you, and I don't deserve to ask for your forgiveness. Only now do I realize how ridiculously foolish I've been. The person I loved most was right beside me, yet I never truly believed it. Impatiently, I cut him off. I don't want to hear it. Before he could react, I turned and walked away. News quickly spread that Marcus had been kicked out of the residence. He was now destitute and penniless. Chloe wasn't faring any better. She'd accidentally lost the baby she was carrying, and Marcus's father had broken her leg before kicking her out. By the time I heard these updates again, I felt nothing, because I knew I still had a whole life ahead of me. Thanks for watching today's story. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and share it with your friends. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments section. Feel free to share your opinions, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more exciting stories. See you next time.